key things I get on my guys on is put the ladder up on the rake edge. If I put it on the gutters, there's a good chance I'm going to scratch your gutters. First area we take a look at is the gutters. How are they attached? We want to replace the drip edge, and we can't replace that drip edge if the gutters are attached through the drip edge. So that's one of the things we look at. The other thing we look at is if there's a gutter guard on there. If I have to put new drip edge on, do I have to pull that gutter guard off? Is that going to cost more time and labor? I want to think about those things so that I can have a complete comprehensive estimate. I also take a look at the underlayments. I try and see what's on there for existing underlayments. It just gives me a better picture and idea of how the roof was put on in the first place. Next thing I take a look at is the flashing. So I'm going to come around here and I look on the side where the roof and the wall meets. I see that's a solid piece of flashing. We always, at First American, we always replace the flashing because that's a source of entry. But you can notice here that it is a solid piece. So even if, per se, we didn't want to replace the flashing, you really should because it's the wrong type of flashing. So the other thing you notice here is the trim board. You notice that there was a board put in here and there's a metal flashing here. We've actually already been working with this condo association. We actually had the contract to do all of the buildings, and so one of the partnerships we've done with them, we have to replace that flashing. So their maintenance guy came along, cut the siding, put this trim board in, so when we come to put the new roof on, we can simply pull that off. We don't have to mess with the siding at that time. So I said I was going to tell you about why it's bad if a guy doesn't get on the roof or doesn't have a detailed estimate. Is that flashing getting replaced? How do you know? What kind of flashing is it? Does it need to be replaced? If somebody's not getting on your roof to inspect that, or worse yet, writes an estimate down on a piece of paper and it doesn't specifically detail out how the flashing is getting replaced, you could have issues. One, you could have a change order. That's a big thing is you don't inspect the roof close up. You know exactly what needs to be done, and so here's my ballpark number. Whoops, I got to the job. We need a little bit more time and materials, so here's a change order. I have to charge you more. That's a scary thing. You don't want that to happen. The other thing is, one of the things we're going to take a look at is a little bit of some skylights. Usually around the 18 to 20 year mark, skylights need to be replaced. Well, is that contractor's estimate including replacing those skylights? If it's not, are you going to have to repair your brand new roof down the road? The other common thing we see is chimney flashings. A lot of contractors do not replace the chimney flashing. What happens after 2 to 3 years after they've placed a brand new roof? Chimney's leaking, and now they're paying to repair a brand new roof. Some of the scary things that can happen if one, the contractor is not getting on the roof, not doing a thorough inspection, and two, not having a detailed out proposal of what work is actually supposed to be done. Let's continue on with the inspection. One of the things I like to look around and see what kind of ventilation there is. Here we have bridge vent. Taking a look at the chimney, I noticed that chimney cap is starting to rust out. So I'm going to include in my estimate that we bend up a new piece of cap and put that on there. Because that would be a source of some issues down the road, and this makes sense to do it right the first time when we're out here. All right, so we're on another section of the roof. We had to reset up the ladder, and a couple things I'm taking a look at, and a couple questions that I have for the owners. What are we doing with these brackets? Typically, we're going to get rid of them because the satellite dish isn't needed, but is this satellite dish needed? A lot of times nowadays, homeowners are getting rid of them, and it's just a thing that I bring up in that meeting. Next thing I want to take a look at is the skylight. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of times skylights, watch your step here, a lot of times skylights are older and they need to be replaced at the time of a re-roof. So what I like to take a look at on the skylights is I just look at the seals to make sure that the seals are good. Take a look at the flashing. And I can gauge. I've been doing this a long time. I'm able to know if that skylight's in need of a replacement. But again, usually 18 to 22 years is about the life expectancy of a skylight. The other thing, we have some solar tubes up here. I like to take a look at those, see how the flashing is done, make sure that the top cap isn't cracked. A lot of times on older ones, these can dry out over time, and so we might want to put a new cap on there during the re-roof. Of course, this one looks fairly new, so it might have just been recently put in. So the next area I'm paying close attention to is the soil stack. So you notice here, this is a stack coming up. This is the waste gases from the bathroom are able to exhaust the home. And we notice that this boot is cracked. You always want to replace those, but you don't just want to replace them with the cheap, $10, $15 ones, because this is what's going to happen after 10 years. You put a roof on there, you want that roof to last, including all the system components. And so we put on ones that have a 50-year guarantee because they're made out of silicon. The next thing I'm taking a look at is the chimney. So anytime you have a chimney, you really want to make sure that it has a cricket. This one does. The cricket is just a little saddle, some people call it, but it diverts the water away so that you're not having water running right at the back of the chimney. And so we talked, again about getting on the roof to inspect it. I need to know if this chimney has a cricket. I can't tell from the ground, and so a thorough inspection is vital to have a properly put together estimate. And then you don't have to worry about big change orders. The next thing we're going to do, vital to that inspection, is an attic inspection. I'm checking the ventilation, I'm checking the insulation, and we just want to make sure that, and I can see rotten wood from under the, inside the attic as well. So some of the things to think about when you're getting a roof inspection: is it going to be thorough? Is the guy getting on the roof? And then the estimate. Is the estimate detailed out so that you know exactly what you're getting? Thanks, everybody.